All right, let's dive in. We're about to break down a really powerful idea for getting out of debt, and it's probably not what you think. See, it isn't really about just working harder or earning more. It's about a specific order of operations, a sequence to financial freedom that, let's be honest, most of us have gotten completely wrong at some point. So let's get into it.
So let's start with this. That debt you're carrying, you gotta stop thinking of it as just a number on a piece of paper. Think of it like an automated system, a machine that you handed the keys to. And ever since you did that, it's been quietly, legally, just taking money from your account every single month.
And this is what that feels like in real life. You know this feeling, right? Payday hits, you feel good for maybe, a day? And then, boom, the automatic withdrawals kick in. Rent, car payment, those credit card minimums. By Thursday morning, it feels like that paycheck was just a dream. But listen, and this is important, this is not a personal failure. This is the system working exactly the way it was designed to.
So let's just call this what it really is. It's a monthly heist. It's scheduled, it's automated, and it runs like clockwork, taking a cut of your life's effort before you even get a chance to decide what to do with it.
And this is why just trying harder almost never works. You can see it right here. You put in more effort, you work harder, maybe you even earn more money. But the system is designed to just drain more from you. It's like you're fighting the symptoms instead of the actual disease. The big takeaway here is that the order you do things in matters way more than the raw effort you put in.
Okay, so to change the order, we first have to change how we see the problem. This is a huge mental shift. You have to stop thinking of debt as this static thing and start seeing it for what it actually is.
Think about it like this. Your high-interest debt is basically a subscription to your own past decisions. Every single month, a piece of your life's energy, your paycheck, is automatically deducted. But unlike Netflix, this subscription builds absolutely nothing for you, and you can't cancel it. The interest is working against you 24/7, on weekends, on holidays, even while you sleep. This image just perfectly illustrates the problem, doesn't it? Imagine your income is water that you're pouring into this bucket. But your debts, credit card minimums, car payments, all that stuff, they're holes drilled in the bottom. Now you can hustle, you can get a side job, you can pour water in faster, but the bucket never fills up. The leaks are just too big.
And this is the key insight. The first and most important job isn't to figure out how to pour faster, it's to stop the leaks. You have to plug the holes before you can ever hope to fill the bucket.
And if you want to see just how dangerous those leaks are, look at this. A pretty common example, $4,000 on a credit card. If you are only making those minimum payments, you are in the trap. You'll be paying for over a decade, and you will hand over nearly double what you originally borrowed. Let's be crystal clear. Minimum payments are designed to keep you in the system, not to help you get out.
Okay, so if plugging the holes is the #1 priority, what's the actual goal we're aiming for here? It's not about getting rich overnight. It's about reaching a very specific and very powerful milestone.
Picture your financial life like these two lines on a graph. You've got one line, your net worth, which you want to go up, and you've got the other line, your debt, which you need to force down. As long as you're carrying that high-interest debt, these two forces are locked in a battle. And believe me, the math is just not on your side.
The goal, the real goal, is to get that debt line to hit zero. We call this point the zero line. And honestly, this is more important than your first investment. It's more important than your next raise. Why? Because once you cross it for the first time, every single dollar you earn is 100% yours.
And what does it actually feel like to cross that line? You know, it's not some loud party, it's quiet. It's a feeling of silence. It's the absence of that constant low-grade financial dread, the one you've gotten so used to you might not even notice it's there anymore. It's the silence of knowing your future is finally your own.
So how do we get to the zero line? We need a strategy. And not a strategy that looks good on a spreadsheet, but one that actually works for real, live human beings.
This is the plan, step by step. First, you list out all your debts. But here's the twist. Instead of focusing on the interest rate, you rank them by the balance, from the smallest to the largest. Then you throw every extra dollar you have at that one smallest debt, while you just pay the minimums on everything else. As soon as it's gone, you take all the money you were paying on it and you roll it on to the next smallest debt. Now, I know what some of you are thinking.
The math says you should pay the highest interest rate first, right? That's the avalanche method. And on a spreadsheet, sure, that's technically correct. But here's the thing, we're not spreadsheets. Behaviorally, that can be a total disaster because it takes forever to feel like you're making progress. The snowball method, on the other hand, is all about getting a quick win. Knocking out that first small debt builds momentum. And momentum is what keeps you in the game.
Because here's the real truth. Personal finance is way more personal than it is finance. This strategy is built for human psychology. That quick win you get when you pay off the first debt, that is proof. It's proof that the system can be beaten. And that feeling, that belief, is worth more than the few bucks in interest you might have saved the other way.
But there's one rule here that you absolutely positively cannot skip. This whole thing falls apart if you're still drilling new holes in the bucket. For a period of time, it's not forever, but for now, you have to stop taking on new consumer debt. You're making a choice. You are choosing to buy your freedom instead of buying the next thing.
All right, we've covered the problem, we've covered the new mindset, and we've covered the strategy. So let's talk about the single most important thing you can do to get started.
Not next month, not when things finally calm down. This week, we've got to turn this understanding into actual action. So what is the very first step?
It's this simple. Your first step is to just open a note on your phone. Write down every single debt you have. No judgment, no shame, just get the list out of your head and onto the screen. Then rank them by balance, smallest to largest, and circle the one at the very top. That one, that's your first enemy. That is your target.
And please hear me on this. The act of listing your debts is not about making you feel ashamed. It is about trading shame for clarity. It's the first step in taking an honest, analytical look at the system that has been running in the background of your life.
Because ultimately, that's what this is really all about. You cannot defeat an opponent that you are not willing to face. Making that list, that is the first move in taking back control. It is the moment you decide to look the system right in the eye.
Look, this quiet, automated heist has been running in the background of your life for years. But it ends the moment you decide it ends. And that decision, that first move, starts with one simple list. It's time to end the heist.